So, sir, what is the role of negotiating in creating the profit in the organization?
Now, the most important rule that I follow is that it's the time of buyer's benefit. Whoever is the buyer will benefit. As an entrepreneur, when you are buying the services of your team, you're the buyer. If you're buying raw materials, you're the buyer. If you're buying premises for your business, you're a buyer. If you're buying media for the business, you're a buyer. So if you negotiate better terms and conditions and better rates from all the inputs of your business, then you can sell it to your buyer at a beneficial rate to your buyer.
If I know what are my strengths, using my strength, I can sometimes negotiate without any financial discussions also. Is this also possible?
It is very much possible. So negotiation is not always in terms of money. Sometimes you negotiate on terms, better terms. Sometimes you negotiate for more deliverable.
Many times, we see that without any financial deal also, the negotiations happen.
Yes.
Many entrepreneurs have good products and they build great businesses. But in spite of having a good business, they don't make good profits. And one of the major reasons for not making good profit is the ability to negotiate harder. So, sir, what is the role of negotiating in creating the profit in the organization?
One of the most important rules that I follow is that it's the time of buyer's benefit. Whoever is the buyer will benefit. As an entrepreneur, when you are buying the services of your team, you're the buyer. If you're buying raw materials, you're the buyer. If you're buying premises for your business, you're a buyer. If you're buying media for the business, you're a buyer. So if you negotiate better terms and conditions and better rates from all the inputs of your business, then you can sell it to your buyer at a beneficial rate to your buyer. So when your buyer benefits, he'll buy more from you. And for you to benefit, you have to buy everything that you buy for your business on negotiated better terms. So negotiation is a critical element of any business model. If you want to sell something at market rates, there is no market. But if you try to create a differential rate which is better to the buyer, then in comparison to your competition, you have got a great market to establish. So for that, you need to be a great negotiator who negotiates in every aspect of the business journey, of that business ecosystem. So that's why I say every entrepreneur is successful because he's a good negotiator. And you should never fail to negotiate. You should never feel shy to negotiate, because you're not negotiating for a small reason. You're negotiating for the big reason, and that reason is your company's sustenance, growth, and way forward.
Great. So, but we negotiate everywhere, when suppose the entrepreneur is starting a business, he's negotiating for the office, then he's hiring people, so he's negotiating for the salary. He's buying raw materials, so he's negotiating. But there can be two ways of negotiating. One is tangible negotiating and one is intangible negotiating. If I know what are my strengths, using my strength, I can sometimes negotiate without any financial discussions also. Is this also possible?
It is very much possible. So negotiation is not always in terms of money. Sometimes you negotiate on terms, better terms. Sometimes you negotiate for more deliverables. Like for example, if I'm negotiating with a media company and the media company is saying that this contract, it will be 10 lakh rupees for this contract, then I stop negotiating on the money part. I negotiate on the payment terms and I negotiate on more deliverables. Like I will ask more media from them or some freebies from them. So when Radio City was born in India in the 90s, late 90s, I negotiated with them a term. I told them that I will sign this contract with you to do an X amount of spend if you give me time check free of cost. Now what is time check? When it is 9 o'clock, the RJ says that the time now is 9 a.m. The time check is brought to you by St. Angelo's Computers Limited. Okay, so time check as a property was created by me for Radio City, and today, so many years down the line, 27, 28 years down the line, time check is a property which every radio station is selling.
Oh, wow.
And at premium rates. In fact, it is more premium than your regular ad rates. So that was the negotiation I did then. Today it has become a sellable property. Similarly, in multiple ways I have negotiated. Like for example, if I have taken a premises on rent from a landlord, and if the landlord owns the building, then I have realized that now he is not going to budge further in negotiating the rental amount. So I used to tell him, okay, then allow me to put 2 extra boards on the building. And he used to agree. So I have bought media free of cost. So that again is a negotiation, because the more visible I am, the more sellable is the business, right? जितना दिखोगे उतना बिकोगे, जितना अच्छा दिखोगे उतना अच्छा बिकोगे.
Correct.
And in retail space, when I was in education, retail space, your visibility is critically important. So negotiation should not necessarily mean that somebody is selling me something worth 1 lakh rupees at say 60,000 or 80,000 or 90,000 or 99,000. That is not the only negotiation. Negotiation is in so many ways and so many methods. Some negotiations can favor you, and in some negotiations you can have a learning experience.
Correct.
Like for example, I negotiated in terms of time for the payment in a real estate project. So for example, suppose I negotiated the rate that I have to pay 100 rupees over 18 months. I thought I've done a smart negotiation. I thought, wow, this is a great deal. The project lifetime was also 18 months, 18 to 20 months. So I thought that without making the full payment for the land, I could complete the project and make more profits. But it so happened that a new BMC commissioner came in Mumbai and he changed some rules which was affecting my project directly. So forget about me completing the project in 18 to 20 months. For me to start the project, it took 2 years. So before I could start the project, I had to pay the entire 100%. So that negotiation was not great for me because I got delayed in starting the project itself. So what was the lesson that I learned? There onwards, all the negotiations that I did were milestone based and not time based. Because time is in nobody's control, and in real estate, your dependence on external factors is so high that things change very rapidly. So now I negotiate on milestone basis and not time basis. So when that milestone gets achieved, I have to make the next payment. So you really need to learn fast, and your learning can be an edge on how you negotiate. So that's how on-the-job training that we call now. The entrepreneur is always, till the last day of his life, is an apprentice. He keeps learning new facets of how to do better business. Every experience and every learning has to be implemented in your next decision, and every decision is in some form or the other a negotiation. So that is what I have been doing, that is what you are doing, and that is what you should keep doing and keep improving, because every new negotiation that you do, your personal challenge to yourself should be that it should be better than the previous one.
Correct. I think we are talking about negotiation, but many places you should also not negotiate. Like suppose you are fortunate enough to work with Mr. Bachchan, as a client. Now there you should not negotiate, but how can you use that credibility to use in the further negotiations? What can we do for this?
So there are so many ways, because people want to understand who's your customer base. Now suppose if you say that your customer is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, you're sold. Now if Amitabh Bachchan has chosen you to be a service or a product provider, there is no further questioning to be done. Like for example, in one of your examples I've heard when we were in a conversation at Business Opportunities Club, that when an entrepreneur says that NASA is your customer, then there is no question on talking or having a conversation on quality, delivery, time-based issues or costing or pricing, nothing. You're sold.
Correct.
Because your customer is a NASA. Now, who can have a customer like NASA or like Amitabh Bachchan or like Anand Mahindra? People who are extraordinary, either in their product or their service, or extraordinary in reaching them and making them your customers or your investor or your partners or your collaborators. There are multiple formats on how you can bring big names into your system. Now that also is a journey of negotiation. You have waved your way through to reach to those people and make them a part of your ecosystem in some form or the other. When a company gets listed, sometimes they very proudly mention who's there on their cap table.
Yes.
So sometimes they do a bad deal for themselves financially, but a great deal for the organization and in valuation for the advantage of the organization. Like when the investor on your books of accounts, on your cap table, are people that people cherish and judge their judgments as a validity point to your decisions,
Correct.
you're sold. That's the reason when a particular name gets associated to a company which is going to get listed, the value is higher. You leverage that much better. Many a times when you buy into a project, the difference between two compounds is almost 20 to 25%, because you're that brand, you're buying into that brand, and that brand has become a brand because it has done all right negotiations throughout their life. So that's how you do it. So when we take a premises for a retail business, so there was this landlord. I'll give you a real example. In Andheri, I had my computer institute on the second floor of a very prominent building. So the landlord had his office in the same building also. And the name of that building was Al Munaz Arcade. It's a very prominent spot in Andheri West. So somebody had to come to meet him. So the landlord was giving directions to that guy. And he told that guy that come and meet me. I will wait for you under Al Munaz Arcade. I'll wait on the road below Al Munaz Arcade. The other person on the other side, he told him, no, I will not meet you below Al Munaz Arcade. I will meet you below St. Angelo's Computers Limited.
Same building.
Same building. But because of my advertisement and marketing, I was more known than the name of the building. My brand was more known than the name of the building.
Correct.
So he started laughing and he started saying, wow. And he came and told that incident to me. So I told him that I'm going to use this for my renewal and, and take a better rent from you the next time that I renew, because I'm making your premises so popular.
Correct.
I'm having one part of your building, but your building is becoming popular because of my advertisement. So kahin pe nigahein, kahin pe nishana. What kind of value are you building for the other person will determine the amount of negotiation that will be possible when you negotiate with the same person again.
Correct.
So you really need to keep creating value for the other side. There are a lot of people who will want you as a customer because of what you have created and what you have achieved. So there was a time for our classes when we wanted premises, the best locations apparently were owned by Gujarati Kachchis. So I built a very strong ecosystem in the Kachchi community. Now there used to be a situation when there is one premises which I want and another Gujarati Kachchi man wants, and I used to get the premises. Why? Because I used to make the most prominent Kachchis make a call to this man so that I could get that premises. So negotiation can be in your favor if you build a strong ecosystem also. Who refers you? Who gives your testimony? And who talks about you when you're not in the room matters the most. So you really need to earn not only revenues and profits, but also you need to keep building goodwill and branding so that it can help you to save your money. Money saved is money earned, is what they tell. But you need to know how to do it in reality, in real-time business. So that's how you can keep saving money for your organization, which is adding to the profitability of your business. So I think these are active and passive ways of negotiation, which can be to your advantage all the time.
Great. I think it is always felt and understood that negotiation is only related to money. But I feel that every negotiator or every entrepreneur knows his strength. Maybe his marketing, maybe his ability to get the things done, maybe his contacts, maybe his network, maybe his different markets. Now, all these assets also can be used for negotiating. And without, many times, we see that without any financial deal also, the negotiations happen.
Yes.
So, is this also possible sometimes?
100%. All the time it is possible. All the time it is possible because you can negotiate somebody's reference point to create a transaction for you. And you have to keep negotiating all the time. Like, for example, I was taking a flight to New York. And there are 2 flights of Air India which fly directly to New York and Newark at the same time. Just few minutes here and there at the same time. So I was flying on the Mumbai-New York flight of Air India. That got delayed by 10 hours. So I immediately spoke to the manager and I negotiated my way through to him to allot me seats on the Newark flight without paying ticket change, flight change, nothing. By explaining to him on how important it is for me to reach there and for explaining to him that a calamity can be to your advantage that I got this service from Air India. And the manager obliged. It depends on how heavy your convincing power is or negotiation is for the other person to oblige you. You get me? Now, this is a very small example of negotiation. But if I would have missed that flight, I had a very important business meeting in New York the next day in the morning. If I would have missed that flight, I would have missed that transaction. So the value of that flight was not in the value of the ticket or the penalty that I would have had to bear or the waiting that I had to do, but the missing of an opportunity. So there are direct benefits and indirect benefits that you need to understand to negotiate, because you have to make your way through. So life is nothing but every minute a part of some negotiation or the other. And this keeps happening all the time. When you buy media, when you hire somebody important on the table, like for example, if I'm hiring a CEO for my company and he's asking a pay package of 1 crore per annum. Let's assume he's asking 1 crore per annum. I tell him that, okay, I'll pay you 1.25 crores. So he gets surprised, but I will link it with your performance. And that performance will be calculated in terms of percentage. So if you achieve 50% of the target, you will get 50% of the salary. So 50% of 1.25 crore is 62.5 lakhs. So he was asking me 1 crore. So I gave him 1.25. At the same time, I made him responsible and accountable for his deliverables. So he gets more and beyond if he performs. But if he doesn't, then he's going to pay the cost for it, not me. So that is the way you negotiate at times. Now this negotiation keeps happening all the time. If I am negotiating with my vendor who stops at a particular point and says that I will not negotiate beyond this, then I stop the money negotiation and then I begin my time negotiation. The time negotiation is I will make the payment over 6 months or over 9 months or over 12 months. So that also saves me money, right? Because money has got an opportunity cost. So if I get that facility, if I'm able to save that kind of money, it is a part of negotiation. I have got further discount to the negotiated price. These are the same benefits that I will also pass on to my customers, because what benefits you get from your back end, you have to forward it to your front end. And your front end is your customer with whom you're dealing. So you create better terms and conditions from your customer so that he not only continues to be your customer, but he repeats being your customer and he also refers you to other people to become your customers. When your customers is referring for on your behalf, he is actually negotiating for a customer who was never yours, but is becoming yours at no effort of yours, just by the way you have dealt with your existing customer.
Great. So many times, it also happens that the entrepreneurs hesitate to negotiate because they feel that if I negotiate hard, I may lose this opportunity. This client will go or this opportunity will go. So while negotiating, how to develop the mindset of courage or confidence, that I can afford to lose this opportunity, or how to overcome this fear actually.
You have to expand your funnel. Whenever you negotiate out of fear, you are bound to lose in most of the cases. Sometimes by luck, you might get through, but most of the times you are bound to lose. So you should never negotiate out of fear. Your funnel should be so broad with so many options that you create for yourself that if you don't win one negotiation, it should not harm you or demotivate you or give you the feeling that you have lost a good opportunity.
Correct.
So for that, you have to really work accordingly. So create so many opportunities or have such a broad funnel of opportunities that there is no fear of missing out. Now let me tell you something interesting. The day you lose the fear of missing out, every attempt of negotiation, you'll be a winner. Then you have to be scared of how many opportunities can you onboard.
Correct.
Because you can create a situation where the demand for your product or service is more than the supply that you can create. And if you're in that situation, fantastic. There are so many organizations which do that. The good cars, there is a waiting list. For mobile phones, there is a waiting list. Any new mobile being launched, they create such a aura about that new upcoming product that the demand is multiple times of your supply. Even in the stock market, before a new IPO is coming in, so much communication is created around it that the issue gets oversubscribed by 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, 500 times. What is that? You're negotiating with your target audience at one go and creating so much demand that your supply is not matching that particular demand. That is how things happen. When government launches a Mahara scheme, there might be 2,000 flats and 20 lakh people apply. So the demand is much beyond the supply. So what is that? When you are sure of what you are getting, has a value beyond the money that you are going to pay, there is going to be demand beyond supply.
Great.
So as an entrepreneur, you have to create those kind of situations where you will never have a fear of missing out. And if that you can achieve, the negotiation is always in your favor. There are products and services where the customer just wants it. He's not bothered about the price point. He just wants that product, or he just wants that service to happen. Where, for example, Kalra Shukla classes, you need to get the admission, forget about the fees that they are charging. There is nobody will go there and say that, can you reduce the fees? Can I get a discount? No, getting the seat itself. So as an entrepreneur, what you have created a scenario where the customer does not have the power to negotiate with you. At the same time, you should be such a powerful customer to somebody that when you go there, the vendor is ready for negotiation because he wants you as a customer on his list.
Correct.
So you have to work both the ends, and this is nothing but how you strategize your negotiation game with your business model.
Great. I think that was a fantastic discussion on negotiations. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, and share this. And more such topics will keep coming and be a part of this YouTube channel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.